Okay, so I'm going to get straight into it, guys. One of my two favorite quotes: be comfortable being uncomfortable. And for me today, this is pretty uncomfortable. Usually it's me and I know my wife's here, but my better half, Matt. Usually it's me and him behind the camera. And the last time I was in an audience like this, it was Take Me Out. And that was 12 years ago, and we all know how that went. So yeah, my second quote that I really like, and which I live by, is the magic you are looking for is in the work you are avoiding. And I've held that very true since I was 21. So basically I want to start from, my story. Born and raised in Plymouth with my mum and dad. Bit of a broken childhood, unfortunately. Not going to bore you with that story, but it's very relevant to why I am the way I am and why I do what I do. And I guess it's like my why, like you were saying earlier. It's my reason for what I do. So I went to Plymouth University, where I studied business and marketing. I graduated, had a real passion for business, real passion for sales, real passion for marketing. Bit of the gift of the gab, I think I was told I had. So not very good at admin. Georgie will kind of confirm that. So, I really wanted to be out there, be in front of people, and be a businessman. And I had no idea what I was going to do. So I left university and I found a company called Crown Pavilions, which is a luxury gazebo business. They sell gazebos from £5,000 to £20,000. I was actually approached by them to come on I did a little bit of modeling back in the day, and they basically wanted people that were relatively presentable and educated that could help with the sales of these products. So on my first trade show, I sold 8 gazebos with a value of about £15,000 per gazebo, and became their top salesman within 3 months. I spent the next 5 years working for that business. I was the sales manager, the top sales guy, and I had a team of about 12 people. Really enjoyed it, but my commission was so low, it was £75 per gazebo, whether it was a £5,000 gazebo, £20,000 gazebo. So for me, I knew I always wanted something bigger and better. So my best friend, Simon, who now works for LPP, he's not here today, unfortunately. He was a great carpenter, a great landscaper, and we sat down one day and said, look, you're good at making this, I can sell this, let's do this together. So we took that concept to our garage, had some beers. There were some big smokers at the time, so it was it was kind of like thinking of this idea in our basement, and we said, look, what do we need to do? We need to build 2 of these gazebos, we need £50,000, we need to book 4 or 5 home shows in the US, ideally, but we're going to have a fun game, we're going to get a globe. We spun the globe around, and we said, wherever it lands, we're going to go there, and we're going to build these gazebos. First one, China. No chance. Don't speak Chinese. I'm not even going to take on that market. Span it again, Australia. We did a bit of research. Very hot. The climate probably wouldn't have suited the gazebos. Did it again, San Francisco. We saw all of the tech money was eBay, Google, Facebook. Everything was in California, in the Silicon Valley area. The plots were huge. The houses were $2 million, $5 million, $20 million. And we thought, okay, we're going to crack this. We're going to take on this market. So we built these gazebos. It took us 6 weeks. We made it on my best friend's driveway in the garage. We were making them from 4 in the morning up to 10 p.m. in the evening. We made them. We found a shipping company, shipped them over to the US, and they were on their 30-day journey from Southampton to Oakland, California. We then spent $10,000 booking home shows all over the US, because obviously we were doing things like the Chelsea Flower Show, Hampton Court Show. There was events similar to that in California. So we started to book them, and then we booked a house, 5-bedroom house, $1,500 a month between 4 of us, absolutely nothing, cheap. Moved into the house, Mexican cartel on my right, biggest drug dealer in California on our left. So there was a reason it was that cheap. But it was a big house, and we got on really well with them because we were English. So we started that business. So we started that business. We did our first trade show, sold nothing. It cost us $5,000 to be at that show. Second trade show, sold nothing. Third show, sold nothing. We were all in on our money at this point. We couldn't eat, we couldn't go out, we were having cereal for lunch, breakfast, dinner. It was terrible. Put all of our money into this dream, wasn't happening, but we said, we've got to keep going, got to keep grinding, and we did. 4th trade show. An hour into the show, I sold a $30,000 gazebo, and I was like, we've made it, we've crushed it, we're going to kill it. And this story is relevant for a bit later for my property journey. The following day, 8 o'clock in the morning, the lady calls me, Damion, we're cancelling. Shit! Absolutely, like, gutted. All of our lives were on that. We were going to go back to England. I couldn't go back to England. I was getting too much abuse from the whole take me out thing, so I needed to stay in America. Every woman in the country hated me, apart from my lovely wife, thank God. So it was like, no, I have to stay. I have to stay here, and I have to do what I know I can do. I believe in myself. I believe in the guys that I'm with. I'm a hustler. I'm going to grind this out. And then we went to that last show. It was make or break. And on the last day, on the Sunday, and this is true, we sold 5 gazebos with a value of $150,000. And then we put all of that money, reinvested it back into the company, booked more trade shows, made more gazebos, advertising, marketing, social media, everything we could possibly do went straight into marketing. So when Simon was speaking earlier, everything you were saying was kind of resonating with what we went through and kind of finding your niche audience. And that's what we did. We thought, we're trying to sell a $50,000 gazebo to the elite. Let's go to the elite. So we did. Year 2, we managed to make some money. Year 3, maybe $1 million. Year 4, primetime TV. We got picked up by $1 billion investor. Really, really good guy, Marcus Lamona. Sean is very aware of him. He liked us because it was 2 English guys, because we lost one of our partners, that were just hustling and grinding away in the US, trying to live this American dream. And he was like, you know what, I'm going to invest $250,000 into your company. I'm going to take 12% of it, and I'm going to put you on primetime TV on CNBC. So we were, year 6, we went from, I think, about $1 million a year to $6.5 million a year. 2 English guys making gazebos, which was unbelievable. Year 7, $8 million. Everything was great. Dream come true. Everything was, unbelievable. Had my wife. I think we had 2 daughters at the time. Big house, beautiful cars. Made it, crushed it. Went to a next trade show. And there was a big audience like this way, but they were all eating. Everybody was eating their lunch, everybody was eating their dinner. Kids, everybody else. It was a garlic festival. And I was here, the gazebo was behind me, all of these people were here. There was a kid to my left, had a little table, rucksack. He was doing all this stuff, piecing something together, and I was with my friend at the time. I was like, what is this guy doing? What the hell is he doing? Balaclava on, AK-47 out, killing everybody. I was here, he was there. He killed a 3-year-old, killed a 6-year-old, killed a 15-year-old, killed a 20-year-old college kid. Police came over, shot him straight in the head, all in front of me. And I was like, what the fuck? Sorry for the language, but I was. And it was probably the most traumatic experience I could ever go through. My wife was calling me, I could feel it, I could feel the phone vibrating in my pocket. It was all over the TV. And I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do right now? This is all going on. So everybody ran. Everybody was running away. I ran away. And then I remember getting to the little toilet area, all these little cheerleaders, little 14-year-old kids running away, all grazers on their arm. And I was like, shit. I sold 3 gazebos at this show. My bag is in the gazebo. I need to get back to that gazebo because my business is dependent on this. So I got to the gazebo, got the order forms, got to my car, went to an appraisal, closed the deal straight after that. The adrenaline was still pumping. Got home, and my wife and my 3 daughters then said, that's it, we're done, we're leaving. America is over, I don't care how much money you make. I'm not bringing up my kids in this area. And I was like, look, the chance of that ever happening again is very, very unlikely. But do I stay in California and make some money? Or do I, obviously my wife and 3 daughters, that was the only option. So my wife left, I sold up some tools, some bits and bobs, raised about 150 grand just to get the hell out of there. And then I spent the next 2 weeks in California thinking, I need to go on some job sites, I need to know what I'm going to do, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I was looking online and it was like store manager, retail this, marketing this, nothing really ticked the box. And then I saw self-employed estate agency, Fine & Country. I was like, okay, I like the brand. The number was on there, Sean Newman. So I called Sean, introduced myself, and told him the story. And he was like, he's very familiar because Sean spent a lot of time in the US, so he understood where I live, where I came from, everything else. And he said, look, just send me a video, Damion. Let's see how we get on. So I sent him a 2-minute video, and then I think we're on the phone every day for the next 6 or 7 weeks. It was just, it was a really nice connection that myself and Sean had, and I, did a lot of research on him, listened to him, and I said, look, I've got 2 weeks to basically do something because, like it says, no job, no home, no family to rely on, and it was basically grind time. So when I was working for that gazebo company, first of all, there was never a plan B. When I went to the US, there was never a plan B, and when I come back and met Sean, it was, you're going to do this and you're going to succeed. How the hell do we succeed? Because I don't want to have a plan B. So Sean told me, you've got to study the best, like your first slide with Tony Robbins, replicate the people that are doing very, very well. So Gary Vee, Tom Panos, Tom Ferry, Josh Fegan, Josh Teslin, who I'm now very good friends with, immersing myself in the real estate industry. I had no knowledge of it. I have no knowledge of the real estate world apart from construction. So I immersed myself in it for about 2-3 weeks, and I watched every single YouTube video I could of Tom Panos, Gary Vee, and funnily enough, nobody from the UK. There was nobody that you suggested to watch in the UK, which, like, to me, that screams alarm bells, because it's like, why is there not a true professional in the UK that I can replicate? I've obviously found out that the industry is pretty broken over here. It's a race to the bottom. People are, for me, I don't understand it. Why would you charge 1%? And why would people be racing to the bottom on the fee when this is the biggest asset you own? It's the most expensive thing you own. Hire an expert, pay big fees. In the US, it was 6%. We paid it. We paid it twice on the houses that we bought over there. Didn't even question it. So we had to study. Where am I on my slides? Sorry. Yeah, and I had no knowledge on the real estate world. So what I did is I paid Chris Watkins, who's a content creator, and another lady, Amanda, can't remember her last name, but I paid them about £500 or £600 a month, every month for 2 years. And basically what they do is they created content for me, what is a estate agency, tips on how to sell your home, staging, what's going on with banks, what's going on with interest rates, loans, etc., etc. Because I had no clue. I was a carpenter from America, coming to the UK, trying to wing it, basically. But I remember my dad always said to me, one of my favorite quotes, it's probably a nicer version of fake it until you make it, but it was, power perceived is power achieved. And it was like, do you know what? I'm going to do this. I've done this with no experience before, and I'll do it again. I've started from nothing. I'm going to do it again. So I watched all the $1 Million Listing, Selling Sunset, trashy show, I know, but $1 Million Listing I really like. I watch how the Australians do it. I watch how the Americans do it. Paid the content. And what I actually started to do, set up a tripod, put my camera on with a teleprompter. And I don't know if this is cheating or not, but I had these articles and I was reading the words, educating myself, recording it, and then posting it on social media. So I was almost using that content to provide value to people, but at the same time, educating myself. Because I didn't have a clue what I was talking about. Sometimes when I was reading things out about a chain, I was like, oh shit, that's what a chain is. Okay, I get it, that makes sense. But the reason I did that, one, to educate myself, and secondly, it was Gary Vee. I think it's jab, 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 hook, he says. So it's basically give, 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 give. Just keep giving, 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 giving. Then eventually you can ask for the business. So that's what I did. I created all of that content, got that knowledge, and committed from day one to do social media every single day. And that would be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and you can hold me accountable for it if you check any of my social media accounts from day one, every single day for the last, I've been here now for 3 years. 3 years ago is when I had that phone call with Sean. And the only time in 3 years is 4 days ago, when I was on the Tony Robbins event. And thankfully, Sean allowed us to go to that with certain people in here. It was the most emotional experience of my life. My mum passed away a year and a half ago at 59, really sad. My grandma died 2 weeks after that, terrible. Broken relationship with my parents, so it was kind of like, I need to go to this because I want to grow as a businessman, I want to grow as a person, but I've got so much shit I need to get rid of. And it was like, I'm going to switch off my phone and I'm going to commit to this this 4 days with some people in here, and I've never cried so much, never done so much exercise, never laughed so much. Raji was there. We cried a lot, to be quite honest, but we got rid of a lot of these demons. And that was really good for me. So every single day, and I would advise everybody doing this, just commit to doing social media. And I don't care, honestly, when people say they're too busy. I have a wife, I have 3 daughters, I look after them all. I've got a business now, Luxury Property Partners. Even when I was with Fine & Country, I did it every single day, and I commit to doing it every single day, because the amount of time people spend on their phone scrolling through crap, you could take a video in 5-10 minutes. You can post it on all of these channels. It's so easy to do. And like Matt said earlier, and we use it regularly on our training, be somebody's agent before you're their agent. And that's the one thing that we talk about a lot. I want to create valuable content to people so they think, okay, that guy's good. He's actually educating me and helping me before he's even my estate agent. So I just constantly want to give value. So for that first 6 months, probably the most brutal 6 months, I moved to west of Oxfordshire in Wantage, tiny little house. We came from a big house in America, bit of money in the bank, and my thing always in the US was every time we make money, reinvest it back into the company. Buy some new tools, buy a new truck, buy some machinery. And doing this and being in this industry, I was like, what am I going to spend my money on? So I said to that day, my tool is social media. Constantly reinvesting it all in social media. Make a beautiful video, put it out there. Make a terrible video, put it out there. As long as the audio is okay, like Matt said, just get it out there, because once you start and you commit, then you just never stop. And that's what I've committed to. So that first 6 months, social media every single day, knocked on doors 4 days a week. Good thing about Fine & Country and now Luxury Property Partners, not that we're copying them or anything, we've got this beautiful magazine, a 50-page magazine that we can literally knock on somebody's door and say, you know, just a simple introduction of, I see you're selling your property, you're probably in the market to buy, so I'd love to give you this magazine. It's complimentary, I'm not here for anything else. Oh, thank you very much, Damion, no problem. So bit by bit, I was making introductions to people because I didn't know anybody in Oxfordshire. I had no friends to rely on that I could just sell the house. We were at the premium end of the market, so I didn't know anybody that I could just knock on the door of a £2 million house. Thankfully, 4 months in, or 3 months in, knocked on the door, Damion, I've seen your stuff, my videos and everything else, and I want you to sell my house. And I was like, okay, fantastic, £2.5 million, 2.5%, £2,000 up front. And I was like, yes, smashed it. Going back to like I did in America, the day after, Damion, don't want to sell my house. Okay, perfect. So I had to start again and start grinding. But I think, to be honest, like in the US, that was one of the best things that could ever happen to me, because if you think it's easy, it's not. Like being self-employed or being a business owner, like Simon said earlier, is probably one of the riskiest things you could possibly do. I've done it twice, and I've succeeded, and had to stop due to the mass shooting. But it is a risk. It is a grind. You're going to have to front up some cash to survive for that first 6 months, and that's what I did. So I just stayed committed, kept doing my social media, kept knocking doors. Month 6, still not a penny. Got a couple of listings. Fast forward 6 months, £150,000. My first year. And that's 6 months of nothing. Then the following 6 months, managed to get that. But the work I did in week 1, week 2, week 12 was generating me income for the rest of the year, and probably is still generating me income now because of the videos that I created, creating that value. And it's basically like Matt and Summer will tell you, their videos are working for them 24/7. My videos are working for me 24/7. Just got to get that content out there. Year 2, last year, and I'm not saying any of this to like brag or show, nothing like that whatsoever, because it's from me working my ass off to get to this position, is why last year I earned £250,000 just from following the simple process that people like Sean and people like Matt and Tyler and Sam and everybody else that's in LPP, we all follow it now because we know it's a very simple process. Knock on doors, do social media every day, provide value. Once you do a beautiful video like we do, thankfully to Matt at Dream Home, we create some of the most beautiful productions you could create. And you know, we sell homes 5 million, 10 million, 20 million. Our biggest exchange is at 31 million from the videos we do. I say exchange because it's not completed yet, but it's another story. Sean knows all about that one. So yeah, that one at 31 mil. So yeah, last year earned 250,000 just by grinding away. I bought my dream Lamborghini Aventador S, and that was always something for me. I always wanted a Lamborghini. I was like, as soon as I get that car, I've made it. Got the car, drove it for 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, what next? And that's not in a greedy way. I just aspire to be better and better, constantly evolve. That's why I like coming to events like this, not from a speaking perspective, but we have meetings 3 days a week. The things I learn from people like Pierre, who's one of our new agents, Tyler, Matt, Summer, Raji, any of the people on our calls, they teach me a lot. So I want to constantly evolve. I want to be better every single day, every single week. And the process hasn't changed. I'm still knocking on doors. I'm still doing social media every single day. And now, stepping away from Fine and Country, and not a bad word to say about anything to do with Fine and Country. Is one of the, I owe them a lot because of what they brought to me and what Sean brought to me. But I was based in just Oxfordshire. The license meant I could only sell properties in Oxfordshire. Now I own Luxury Property Partners with Matt, Summer, and Tyler. Now we're a nationwide brand, and I've got the goals to be the #1 luxury brand in the UK, and I want to be the #1 agent in the UK. And I'm not going to get there by just thinking I know it all. I think once you think you're at the top of the game, I think you've lost. I think you've got to learn. Like listening to you, Simon, earlier, and listening to Ben and Matt and Summer and everything else, I'm taking down these notes and thinking, God, I'm so far off where I think I am, and I've got a lot to learn. But I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really good thing. So much so that I think I'm going to create a training course with Matt on just basically the journey and what it takes to be an agent, what is a estate agency, all the way up to selling some of the most luxurious properties in the country. So this is interesting. And when I first met Sean, and when I spent that 2 weeks studying everything, I basically made these notes. And you don't know this, but I go back to these every single month. Every single month without fail in my office, these are there. And I thought I would just share these tips with you guys because for me, they've been so, so valuable. Matt and Summer have already touched on it about having a good thumbnail. I remember having the worst thumbnails. I think it was actually Summer who brought it up and said, you don't need to do all this. It doesn't need to be crazy characters and this, or just a picture of your. Have a beautiful house, nice bold pricing, keep it simple, keep it clean. YouTube, obviously everybody's talked about YouTube. Consistency is probably the most important thing for me. And the content, it doesn't always have to be world class. You can give tips on staging a home, selling your house fast, what's going on in the market. I remember one of my favorite things to do when I was running out of ideas of content is I would go to my local, the most expensive streets in Oxfordshire, and I would stand there, tripod, camera, go onto Rightmove, see what the most expensive house is that was sold, and just stand there. Today I'm on this street, this house sold recently for 5 million, and just educating people, because people in the area, they care. They care about house values. They want to know what their neighbour's house is worth. Carry on, Sean. No problem, Sean. Okay. Yeah, no problem. No worries. So I'm boring you. Sorry. Okay. So people want to know. And I think if you're providing content on what somebody's house is worth, their neighbours definitely want to know. Where was I? Sorry. She put me off for that phone. Yeah, so consistency. Okay. And then the 3 E's, engage, entertain, educate. That goes back to my social media principles about what I provide. You can do a weekly show. Chris Watkins is a big fan of it. Every week on a Friday afternoon or a Saturday afternoon, just what's going on with the property market that week is really useful. What's happening in the marketplace, like I said. And these are my tips, Sean, that I picked up from you, Marty Fox, Josh Teslin, all of these top guys, and this is what I go back to. Stand out, you've got to stand out. How many bloody estate agents are there in England? When we were in California, I think there was 300,000, it was either 30,000 or 300,000 agents in California. Ridiculous number. In the UK, there's a lot of agents. There's a lot of people here battling for race to the bottom on cheaper fees. We've got to the point now where we've made it a rule we cannot negotiate on our fees. It's 2.5%, and that's it. Do we lose business because of that? Probably, and it costs us a lot of money, but we're at the point now where we have to stick to it, and the estate agency industry in the UK, it has to change. It cannot be 1%. This is somebody's biggest asset, the most expensive thing they own, and they want to pay 1%. It doesn't make any sense to me. So be current, be constant, be efficient, look the part, be professional, be composed. Again, if you're selling somebody's most luxurious asset and you turn up messy or scruffy, or you smell of smoke, or you smell of alcohol, it doesn't go down very well, because you can probably presume you're not the only one out there. There's a good 3 or 4 agents at least that have gone out before you, so you have to stand out. Whether that's through your work ethic, and that's what I did in the beginning. My first client, I said, look, I have 0 experience. I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to work my absolute ass off for you, because I've got such a point to prove. And then I sold their house, offers over 1 million, sold it for like 1.3, and they were blown away. And I just needed that for my momentum, so I used that massively. Used the brand that you work for. When I was with Fine & Country, that was all I could really use. The brand was good, it was established, offices in London, offices all around the world. Now with LPP, we've got to kind of start from scratch. But we're happy to do that because we want to build our own brand. Fine & Country didn't get there overnight. How old is Fine & Country? Yeah, 20 odd years. So we're year 1 in. We know it's going to be a bit of a grind, but we're happy to do that, and we're bringing on good agents, and we've got good people like Matt and Tyler and Summer and everybody else that comes in, and our agents like Pierre and Raji, Damari, and everybody else that's here today, and Jake. They listen, they come onto the calls, they do the social media every single day, they follow the process, and like the first life from Tony Robbins, you've got to replicate people that are doing well. How am I doing on time? Am I way off or am I? Okay. So yeah, look and improve at what the local agents are doing. Always learn. Always read. I know Tyler's massive for this. Every day, new podcast he'll listen to when he's driving or he's in the car. He always wants to learn. He always wants to better himself, whether that's fitness, whether it's business. And I think it's really, really important to do. And we've got so much access to everything you could possibly want with YouTube and Google. You can Google anything you want, and you'll get a video for an hour long that you can help. So, and I like this one that Tom Panos says, the pilot doesn't serve the drinks in the plane. So stick to what you're good at. Me, I'm pretty decent at creating good videos, property tours. Am I good at admin, Georgie? No, exactly. So I stick to my strengths. And this is what we did going back to the US when there was just the 2 of us. I'm not a carpenter, I'm a salesman. When our business grew, is because we employed people that were experts in their field. So I could get out and sell, and we hired carpenters to come in. So stick to what you're good at, and then don't be afraid to get a coach. Don't be afraid to get an assistant. I think paying for a coach is probably one of the best things you could ever do. Mine was free. Sean was cheap. And I extracted so much out of Sean that you wouldn't believe. I spoke to him every single day, and I was like a sponge. I was just soaking it all up, and I was taking it all in, watching all these YouTubers, watching Gary Vee, watching Tom Panos, watching the top coaches, and bettering myself. So don't be afraid of spending money on a coach or an assistant, because it can save you a lot of money in the long run. It's not about the fee, it's about the value. Us charging 2.5% and a couple grand up front, I've got to provide a lot. Yesterday, and I think some of the team know about this, I was in the Cotswolds and I signed up £25 million worth of listings yesterday from one guy. A 10 million house, 4.5 million house, 2 1.5s, couple 1.3. So me and Matt are going to spend a romantic weekend in the Cotswolds together, stay in an apartment, and we're going to film that. But I was there with them, all of the directors, everything, and they said, look, we've had every agent under the sun out. What can you do differently, and why are you twice the price of everybody, and why are you charging us marketing? Every agent under the sun would want this listing. And I was like, yeah, that's fine, but I'm not here to, pardon the expression, but drop my pants. Just because you say to me, drop your fee, doesn't mean I'm going to. I'm going to provide you the value of world-class content. I'm going to give you the best presentation. I'm going to expose it to as many people I possibly can. I'm going to make your property famous, and then I'm going to negotiate hard. And that's what you're paying for. So I'm not dropping my fee. Like Sean says, just to get the awkwardness out of the way, my fee is non-negotiable. And Sean says it, and that's what we use. And it works, and it's not in like an arrogant way, but I've got to get that out there. And he said, Damion, I'm glad you said that, because I tested you, because I want you to negotiate hard on my property. So it was a test, and it paid off. And now he told me this morning, he's emailed me, he's got another site, £700 million worth of property is coming on. So just creating that connection with that guy is superb. So commit to high end and be a specialist. Be relatable to your customers. This one I found is really, really important. Like, I like to play golf. A lot of my clients like to play golf. So we talk about golf. I'm a Man United fan. Some of them aren't, but we've still got, we can still talk about how terrible Man United are doing this season, because everybody talks about that. If you see art in the house, talk about that art. If they've got a nice watch, if they've got a nice car, be relatable, because people want to talk about things that they're interested in. So I always try and build that relationship, find a common ground with people. And then what I loved about the US is, in this massive statistic that they pulled up, what is the number one reason you choose an agent to sell your home? Is it fee? Is it brand? Is it this? Is it this? Any guesses what the number one is? Trust. Any guesses what the number one is in the UK? Fee. Cheap-ass English people. And Americans, it's like, who do I get on with? And it's like, who can I trust with selling my house? And that's what we want to do now, whether that's Luxury Property Partners, any agency in the country. If you're going to command these fees and sell somebody's biggest asset, you've got to have that trust factor. And that's what I do. And I create that rapport. And sometimes you're not going to get on with everybody. Sometimes they're like, Damion, you're a dick. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Sometimes people are like, and I've even had it with a recent client, Damion, I don't really like you, but I think you're the right person to sell my house. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that, because I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to sell your house. I want that professional relationship with you. The reason he didn't like me is because he was a very strong man, and we were almost clashing a little bit, and that was probably down to me. I should have stepped away from that, but I'm learning every single day. But because we had that good rapport, I guess, and he trusted me, that I don't get paid unless your house sells. That's the best thing about self-employed agents, is you're not going to get a salary. You're not just sat there on your ass 9 till 5 waiting for the phone to ring, stick the photos on the portals, work 9 till 5. As I said, this is a risk. If somebody calls me at 3 o'clock in the morning, Daniela will tell you, the phone gets answered. Somebody flew in the other day from Saudi Arabia. Damion, I'm in Luton, pick me up, I want to see this £20 million house. I was like, oh shit, okay, made it happen. It happens. So people know I'm fighting for them, and ultimately, and more importantly, this is the best thing any of you, if you're self-employed, can say to a client, I don't get paid unless I sell your house. There's no better incentive. Like caveman kind of times. If I don't kill, I don't eat. And that's what I say to my clients. I'm here to sell your house. I'm not here for fun. I'm not here to pretend. I want to sell your house because I've got 3 expensive daughters, and my wife just dropped the bombshell. She wants them all to go to private school. So we've done the tours, and they're 40 grand a year, whatever it is, 30 grand a year for these private schools. And that's kind of my stage in my life now, where it's Lamborghini needs to go. Now I need to focus on my kids. They are my why. They are my drive. I surround myself by people that I want to surround myself with. That's why, my business partners, Tyler, Matt, and Summer, because those are the kind of people that I want to surround myself with. Having a mentor like Sean is great, and I've got rid of a lot of negativity, a lot of negative people in my life, because I don't want any negativity anymore. My drive is to provide for my wife and my kids, to do an outstanding job for my clients, and be the best person I can basically be. I think my last few, commit to be the best. That's what I try to do. I want to be the number one agent in the UK. I aspire to be it. I'm working my ass off to be at that level. I know a few of you in here probably my competitors, but I believe in collaboration. I believe in working together. Like in the US, you've got a buyer's fee and a seller's fee. 3 and 3 from 6%. I like to work with people. I like to offer some of my commission to agents that bring buyers, because ultimately we're here for the clients, and I want to do the best I can for the clients. So if I've got to sacrifice some of my fee, no problem at all. Josh Fegan said this one: train like an athlete and train like your life depends on it. So we do role play. Sometimes it's uncomfortable what we do on our training calls. We had an in-person training session the other day where we all had to break out into groups, and we had to do door knocking exercises, but it's training. We're putting ourselves in those real life situations, and as soon as you get over it, and as soon as you stop thinking, I don't like how I look on camera, I don't like how I sound on camera, that's how you look. That's how you sound. You've got to get over it, because that's how everybody else sees you. And it's so easy just to think, oh shit, yeah. So now I just push record, put it out there. Don't even watch it back. Thankfully, Matt, Nick, all the guys at Dream Homes, amazing editors. So what they create is world class, and Matt will come onto that in a second. And I think it's worth, and I've seen it. I've seen recent agents, instead of charging their clients $1,500 or $2,000 up front, they think, I don't want to pay that out of pocket, or my client should have paid that. So they use lesser quality videographers to create terrible content and expect the same result. And it doesn't happen. We won't speak about it openly, but we've seen the difference from what Dream Home create to what your average videographer might create. And I would say if you're trying to give that value to your clients, it's worth paying more. And to be fair, for what Matt and Dream Home charge, if it's $1,000, if it's £1,200 for that kind of production, photos, floor plans, that's cheap. That is cheap. And most of our clients know that. They're business people. They get it. They understand. Role play. Look after your referrals. That's a really good one for me. I like to send people a bottle of wine or a Christmas card or a birthday card just to say thank you, because I think at this level of the market, referrals are really, really important. And for some reason, I'm really in with the Jewish community in Hertfordshire. I'm not Jewish. I don't know. I don't know why they like me so much, but I'm kind of in with them now. So I sent them some gifts, and they were like, Damion, we're not from, I can't even remember what I sent them, but it was the wrong culture or religion. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, I think it was supposed to be one of these candles, like I don't even know what it's called, but it ended up being like an Indian candle that I sent to them. And they were like, nice try, Damion, we like the thought. And it was, so I like to look after my referrals because it's important. And yeah, I think the biggest takeaway that I could provide for you guys today is do social media every single day, commit to it. Present value, look after your clients, and have a why. My why, as I said, is my wife and kids. That's my reason I do things. My mum passing away last year, brutal. Nan, brutal. No real family. So I've kind of got this core group of people now that I surround myself, and I don't mind. I don't mind that. It drives me to be the best person I can be, and it's why I'm having the results I'm having. And speaking with you guys today is a big privilege. It's the first time I've done it. I feel slightly uncomfortable, but I hope that was of some use to you guys.